Once again. Star Wars Rebels. Let's do this. Hey everyone, this is SpyFan 101, and I'm here today to review the latest episode of Star Wars Rebels. Now, there's a lot to talk about, so let's begin. The episode opens with Sabine, Kanan, Ezra, and Sabine's Mandalorian friend going to the planet that Sabine's family is located on, so she could sway them to her side, so they could fight the Empire with all the Mandalorians. This doesn't go well. This doesn't really go that well, because when they first arrive, not only are they not greeted well, but these flying Mandalorian stormtroopers fly to their ship trying to shoot them down. This works in some degree because they weren't technically shot down, but they did, have a bad landing. And that's never good. So, they get out of the ship. They're walking to this mansion place that I honestly thought would be owned by Tony Stark if Tony Stark was in the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian stormtrooper guys find them. They're about to fight until got out of order. Hold on a second. So back to the crash land. So they crash land. The stormtroopers are there. They're about to shoot until they hear the name Sabine. And then they lower their weapons. One of the stormtroopers takes off their helmet, and it is revealed to be Sabine's brother. So of course Sabine's brother is not going to kill Sabine. There's no way. He's her brother, so there's no way. So they bring her, Ezra, and Kanan to the ship. Not to the ship. What am I talking about? To the Tony Stark mansion. Well, it's not an actual Tony Stark mansion. It just looks like a Tony Stark mansion. Anyway, I better stop getting off topic. So, they get there. They see. We then see Sabine's mother. And Sabine and her mother get into an argument about how her mom left because of what Sabine built, and then she joined the Empire and everything. And I found this conversation to be pretty crazy, because throughout this entire episode, every time the mother was talking, I'm telling you, I wanted to do this so bad.
Anything else?
So yeah, that's literally what I wanted to do the entire time. But we'll get to that later. Another thing that I wanted to say about this episode is that I think that throughout the course of the last 3 episodes to now, a lot of the focus has been put on Sabine, and rightfully so, because many people in the Star Wars universe get a lot of attention. You know, main characters. People that, some are main characters, some are people that are on the sidelines, and some are characters that are cool, but don't really get that much development. But with Sabine, it's like she's already a main character, but the amount of focus that she's been getting, I think, is perfect. And by what happens at the end of the episode, like, I didn't see it coming, but I could see why it happened. But I won't get to it until, I talk about everything else. So, they're walking around. So, Sabine and her mother are walking around, and they're talking about the past. And they're saying how Sabine leaving ultimately saved her life because the Empire was looking for her. Well, the Empire is still looking for her, but back then they were definitely looking for her. And then her mother joining the Empire was in order to protect Sabine. Somehow, I don't know. How is joining the Empire protect? I'll get to that later. Okay, not in this video. I'll get to that like another time. So after that, Sabine's mom goes into this room, and she's talking to the guy that Sabine fought in one of the earlier episodes. Let me research his name to see what it is. It's like one of the evil storm. It's like one of the evil Mandalorians, basically. I'll tell you when I have his name. So, his name is Saxon. So, she's basically talking to Saxon about how he wants the Darksaber, and if he doesn't get it, he's going to kill Sabine and everyone else. But if he does get the Darksaber, then he'll spare at least Sabine. And he'll take the Jedi instead. So that's basically how she double-crossed the entire team. And so Sabine is basically in this other room afterwards, sparring with her brother. And he's talking about how he was angry that she left, and that she basically abandoned the family. And so he talks about how joining the Empire ultimately saved his life. And then, what I noticed in this episode is that there's a lot of character development going to Sabine and her family, and I really enjoy moments like these because it's moments like these that we don't really get in a lot of these shows, and I like that. So, afterwards, Saxon arrives with the other Mandalorian stormtroopers, and this is where they find out that they got double-crossed. And Sabine's like, no, you can't do this. And Saxon's basically like, yes, I can. And he's like, shoot them. And so the big battle happens between the Mandalorian stormtroopers and Sabine and the group. And then her mother starts to tag in, saying, well, she doesn't say anything, but she does start to tag along and fight with them. And Sabine basically gets Ezra's lightsaber, which I thought was pretty cool because, you know, could you imagine if she turned out to be a Jedi? Like, that would be so cool. You already know my favorite characters are Rey, Jyn Erso, and Sabine. Could you imagine if two out of the three of my favorite Star Wars characters were Jedis? That would be incredible. I'm geeking out right now. That would be incredible. Whew. Star Wars is amazing. But yeah, back to the episode. So she gets Ezra's lightsaber. She saves her mother by a split second because Saxon was about to kill her with the Darksaber. And so they basically take the fight outside. And they're fighting hard. They're fighting on ice. They're fighting on ice. They're fighting with their gadgets. It's like they're really fighting. And I got worried because, as I said before, they were fighting on ice. So at any point the ice could break and they could fall in and freeze to death, but you know, that's obviously not what happens. Basically, Sabine beats Saxon. They saved the day, and what I was talking about earlier about the thing that I was surprised about but was totally happy for. Sabine chooses to stay with her family instead of going with Ezra and Kanan back to the Ghost. And so this means that for a while, Sabine is not really going to be, you know, like, we're not going to see her for a while. Now, I was surprised by that. I was feeling a ton of emotions. Like, I was sad about this because, you know, she's my favorite character in this show and one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. I was happy about this because, you know, she's staying with her family and all that, and if that's what she wants to do, then, you know, she should do that. And I was also happy for her because, and I also thought it was completely justified because, you know, she's gonna build like the Mandalorian, like, rebellion. Like, she's going to need to have all the Mandalorian allies, so I could see why she did that. So they leave without her, and that's where the episode ends. This was a very good episode, though. I hope that they don't keep Sabine out of the show for too long, because, like I said, she's like one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. Because you already know this, so don't keep her out of the show too long, please. So yeah, out of 10, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because honestly, this was a really good episode. It had a lot of good character moments, which I always love to see. So, tell me what you thought of this episode of Star Wars Rebels down below, and let me know, how long do you think Sabine will be gone? Let me know in the comments down below. So, I'm SpyFan101 saying peace.